People start judging you the second they look at you, by your appearance alone. We all judge a book by its cover. It's just human nature. Here's the thing. The moment you start speaking, the way you communicate can completely flip that first impression, either in your favor or against you. Imagine meeting someone who looks like they've got it all together. Nice clothes, confident posture, maybe even $1 million smile. But once they open their mouth, they just don't make any sense. And suddenly you're not as impressed. On the flip side, you might see someone who seems pretty average, maybe even a bit awkward, but once they start talking, they're super articulate and completely blow you away. How we speak doesn't just communicate our thoughts, it shapes our entire image. We all want to be better communicators. We all want to be able to present ourselves effectively no matter the situation, because it doesn't just shape how people see you, it can change your life. Now, some people might say, why can't we just talk normally? Why do we need to learn all this about communication? But think about it for a second. What does talking normally even mean? Is it normal to talk casually in a job interview? No. Is it normal to speak formally when you're joking around with your friends? That'd be pretty weird. See, normal depends entirely on where you are, who you are with, and what you want to achieve. Effective communication is really just knowing how to talk normally for different situations. Hope you understand. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today. So, let's dive into the 4 principles that make communication truly effective. So the first principle is listen actively. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. Stephen R. Covey. This is from his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of the biggest mistakes in communication isn't saying the wrong thing. It's not listening well enough to say the right thing. Instead of mentally rehearsing your next point while they're talking, give them your full attention. Take in their words, pay attention to their tone, their body language, observe everything. Only start figuring out your response after they're finished. It's like a game of chess. Your next move should depend on what's actually happening in front of you, not just the move you planned ahead of time. If you only focus on what you want to say next without actually understanding what they say, you risk playing the wrong move. The better you listen, the better you pay attention, the better you observe, the better you'll respond. Period. The second principle is know your audience. Who exactly are you talking to? What do they care about? What do they value? And what kind of language actually makes sense to them? If you use the same style of language to all kinds of audiences, it's like wearing the same outfit for every occasion. It simply doesn't work. Every audience is unique with its own preferences, knowledge base, and expectations. For example, let's say you're explaining your financial struggles to a potential business partner or your boss. You would be very careful, right? Yeah, I'm currently dealing with some financial setbacks, but I'm handling it. If you are explaining the same exact issue with your best friend, you'd be like, dude, I'm broke as f***. Same story, completely different delivery. That's exactly what it means to know your audience. You're not changing the truth. You're just choosing how to say it to the person in front of you. So once you're fully aware of your audience, then you can tailor your language, your tone, and maybe the level of detail to fit them so your message lands the way you intend. And the third principle is put your audience first. This might be a little uncomfortable, but people only care about themselves. They don't care about you. Even if they do care, they care more about themselves, their problems, their priorities, their needs. And that's why this principle matters so much. Instead of obsessing over what you want to say, focus more on what they need to hear. Look, I know it might sound a bit strange or even unfair. Like, why should you worry so much about what the other person needs to hear instead of just saying what you want, right? Because that's the only way to make sure they will listen and understand. At the end of the day, the reason why we communicate is to achieve something, right? To build a connection, to influence a decision, to get an idea across, to comfort someone, to get help, to move things forward, whatever it is. Communication has a goal. And putting your audience first is how you reach that goal. It's part of the strategy. It's simple. Put more focus on them than on yourself. And the fourth principle is be authentic. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. You might be asking, okay, so I need to tailor my language based on my audience, right? Based on my purpose as well. And how is that authentic? Doesn't using a strategy automatically make it fake? How can I be authentic if I'm using a strategy? That's a fair concern. But here's what most people miss. Authenticity isn't something you either have or you don't. No. It's something you build through practice, through repetition. At first, it might feel weird. It will feel weird. It will feel fake. It feels almost like you're putting on a performance instead of just being yourself, right? And that's completely normal. But over a long enough period of time, the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. It turns into your own authentic way of communicating, your own voice. Think about the best communicators you've seen. Maybe it's a great speaker, a leader at work, or even a podcaster you follow online. It's obvious they're using certain strategies, but it feels real. It feels authentic because it's simply part of who they are. They've practiced so much that what started as a strategy has become their natural way of speaking. And the same goes for you. You just need to practice more. Authenticity isn't lost through strategy. It's actually built by it. And if you want to take your communication skills even further, if you want more practical strategies, professional phrases, and comprehensive vocabulary lists, check out this extremely comprehensive ebook, The Art of Professional English. Everything you need to elevate your communication skills, it's all there. And use this code for 50% off. Link in the description. I'll see you next one, inshallah.